Drinking water. Water. Do you want to try
Welcome
some?
back to episode 5 of the Shitpost HQ podcast.
Cinco.
I'm with the boys, Mucus, Erik, and Matt. So,
Yeah.
let's get it. Let's begin.
No, I'm not drinking water. It
Molly
looks like
Wants
water.
pure
But it's
vodka?
not. It's pure vodka. Actually, it's pure vodka. It's water. Water.
All right. Favorite SpongeBob episode? What is your favorite SpongeBob episode?
I don't know them by name though.
Just what happens in it.
Like, you're like, you don't know them by name? Fuck. Probably. That's a great question. I like the one. What's the hash slinging slasher? Probably. That's like it's an oldie as well.
Yeah.
It's not like
Is it the one I'm thinking of where like Patrick's on the phone with SpongeBob and he's over there and
He's over
wee
there.
woo, wee woo,
No,
wee
no,
woo.
that's a different one. That's the with the some crazy killer. It's not the hash slinging slasher. Hash slinging slasher one is the one where he pulls up in the ghostly bus that killed him.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
What episode is the one you're talking about? I know that one.
I don't know.
Is it the insane person? Oh no, it's SpongeBob. SpongeBob is the crazy person, and the whole town
Yes.
thinks he doesn't realize it's him, right?
I don't
And then he
remember
hides
that
in the
one.
mailbox. My favorite was surprisingly a newer episode. Do you remember the one where the guy he was a criminal and SpongeBob somehow busted him out of prison, and then he kept saying he was gonna kick his butt or like no, not kick his butt. He was gonna the Tattletale Strangler. And then every time he
Oh
wants
yeah,
to
he wore like the ski
Yes.
mask and he
Yes.
was this big pickle looking dude.
dude, every time
Yeah.
he wanted to strangle SpongeBob, he would always have a party. So he had like 5 consecutive fucking parties in a row, all like random surprise parties. And then there's one scene where he's like, jump on my shoulders to peek inside the pineapple house.
Yeah.
And SpongeBob's like, okay, 1 second, let me put my cleats on. And then he just jumps on his fucking eyeball.
Oh yeah, I do
Dude,
remember
that
this.
shit. And he gets stuck. Oh,
Some of the
my
gags that they would
fucking
do in that show, like ridiculous.
God. No,
so
even
ridiculous.
the porno one, like the porno innuendo with the coral.
With the what?
Yeah, so SpongeBob walks in on Gary watching porn, and he goes, Gary, and then he switches it, but Gary was watching a coral like wave around.
Oh.
There's
Like Baywatch or something like a
Yeah, probably not
innuendo.
porn, but
yeah,
Baywatch, yeah.
innuendo is fuck.
Yeah,
But
it's Coral Gone Wild.
Coral Gone Wild.
What's the matter? You never beat off the coral gone wild before?
You ever put coral up your ass?
Coral
Just me.
beads. Coral
Alright.
beads.
Coral beads. No, you used to be able to tell when I remember like getting excited when I was a kid because when SpongeBob would come on after school, you could tell which one was a newer episode and which one was an older episode by the color hue of like the intro screen.
Yes.
If it was like purple, it was like, oh, it's a fucking old one. Like, and the animation's gonna be a little different. But if it was like blue, if it was like a lighter blue or like a I guess not blue, like purple, like a more royal purple, it was like a newer animated one. And I don't know, I like the newer animation. It was more pleasing to my eye.
I'm just here talking about the nuance, purple /
Dude,
blue
it was just
hue on the
little memory
SpongeBob
from when I was a
episode.
kid. Little memory from when I was a kid. I just always liked watching SpongeBob. That was
He's
a new
right.
episode.
There was like a bunch of nuances because you could tell. I think in season 4 there was like a tangible change
They
in the
changed
animation
in
style
yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah.
But it retained the same jokes, and I haven't watched the new episodes, but I feel like if it's the same writers, that it probably still packs a punch.
Yeah.
We should watch them. Get fucking baked and watch some new SpongeBob.
I think
down.
didn't the guy die? Didn't the guy
I
die?
don't know.
The
Possibly.
SpongeBob.
Like the guy who's
Holy
voice.
shit! I think
he
you're right.
did.
No.
Yeah.
no, the writer of SpongeBob died.
Oh.
Or maybe wait, are we just making this up?
No, the actor, like the dude,
No.
the guy
You know
who
what?
played SpongeBob also played the pirate. Like, you know, when they would go up, they would
Yeah.
go up to the shore, and he played like the pirate.
Oh,
Like the
yeah,
dude with the
Patchy. Yes.
beard.
Oh
Or
no,
Patchy.
that's Tom Kenny. He's also the voice of
Yeah.
SpongeBob. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. He died though.
I
Didn't
never
he?
heard
He
that
died?
I'm pretty
Can
sure
we
he died.
confirm
We
with
cannot
modern
legally
technology?
confirm
Can
this.
we?
I think
We've been
he
debating
died.
it.
He was
Can we just
59
Google it?
years old when he died. I think it was like 2 years ago.
I
Swear to
think he's
God.
alive and kicking. That's my bet.
I think he's kicking himself for not being alive right now.
I think he's still
rolling
doing
over
voices.
in his coffin.
I think he's still doing SpongeBob.
He
Nope.
might be.
Nope.
I think he's still alive.
Who was Tuck Tucker?
Dude, what do you? This is NBC newscaster, man. I'm looking up SpongeBob. Voice of SpongeBob, dead or no? Yes or no?
Tuck Tucker dead. SpongeBob SquarePants animator was 59. So the
Animator.
animator.
Who's the guy who
That's
voiced him?
person.
then?
Tom Kenny. He's
Go on
alive
IMDb.
again. No, because it's Bob Hillenberg who created the show.
Right.
Steven
He's a marine
Hillenburg.
biologist, I think. And then you had Tom Kenny, who was the voice of SpongeBob. Welcome back to the SpongeBob official podcast.
SpongeBob fanboy.
I don't
official
know if
podcast.
Matt's seen SpongeBob.
That's he was oddly
He was
quiet
oddly
the whole time.
quiet.
He's like,
I was getting
oh yeah,
concerned.
SpongeBob.
No,
I've seen that.
They didn't have
Sick.
it in Poland.
tell.
with the yellow guy and the pink guy, right? It's really good.
Yeah.
So there's a
Who lives
there's
in
a
a
squirrel,
bar
I
that's
think,
how
in
that-
an
that
astronaut
show.
suit.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, dude, I love that show.
Hilarious.
I love
So
that show.
good.
The lobster dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that, right? Yeah.
If you think Matt is a SpongeBob hater, comment down below.
If you think that not watching SpongeBob stunted your growth as a human adult, comment down below.
You're telling me you didn't watch SpongeBob?
You
I
probably
didn't
didn't watch
have
Cake.
a
Let's hear it.
means of
What?
watching SpongeBob.
What the fuck? You didn't have a TV?
Welcome to Matt's church stories number 2. Let's hear
The
it.
church band.
What was it like
No.
growing up stunted and deprived
You
of
need like a
great media?
like an
grow up
edit
in
that
a
comes in. It's
cult?
like,
Like a-
Matt's
like a-
church.
I mean, maybe. No, so we had cable. Like, I remember growing up, we had cable TV for maybe 3 years, maybe 4 years, and my
By
dad had this-
cable, he means the cable that ran on the floor at the Oleg's house down the street.
Who would just act? He would act through those paper cups.
Funny, my neighbors used to like do that. They used to hoochie off of the neighbor. Like they one day they looked up in their after a melt or whatever, their wire was
they
like
spliced the wire.
spliced the wire, and then the neighbors were stealing their cable. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's just funny that people actually do that.
keep
Like,
going.
it's
Well,
like,
you know, it's funny.
it's like 30 bucks.
You can fuck around with the nodes in your neighborhood, and you can actually get like Rogers cable for free. Like you could like fuck a couple of tweak settings if you know what you're doing,
Yeah.
and you can kind of get it to your house. But no, so we had it for a while, and my parents just canceled it, and I didn't have. When I was still living at the house, I didn't have like cable TV, so like all the kids in like school were like, "Hey, like, did you catch a show or watch something online?" Like, no, I don't
You're
have
like,
TV.
no, I read my mom's cookbook last night.
Yeah.
and Mary had a little lamb, and then I went to bed.
So you didn't. At what age? Like, what show do you remember watching last? And then what was like your dark period? From what ages? Or
I don't
grades?
even remember watching it. Like I don't even know what shows were. Like, it was like that. Like, everyone's talking about shows and shit. I'm like,
That's
I don't know what that
crazy.
is.
It's just
Yeah.
funny because you had to develop as an individual, unique person. Whereas I was just downloading my personality from the shows, you know. Like I'm
yeah.
part SpongeBob, I'm part Patrick, I'm part
Yeah.
Julian from Spy Kids. I'm part Frankie Muniz and fucking Agent Cody Banks.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I am. It's so funny.
I mean, like we go to the library and shit and like take out movies and stuff. Like,
Christian
Yeah,
movie.
I
no,
The Passion of the Christ again.
No, my
The
parents bought that.
17th
my
time.
parents bought that in Blu-ray. Like, we have it.
even though his dad
It was
had
a tradition
sick,
for like 4 years.
his dad had a sick projector in their basement that you could project movies, huge
Dude.
speakers, and it would just never get used. Actually, a couple times your
My-
dad was watching like
The best way to like kind of like if you're gonna summarize my childhood in like a sentence, it was just under communism. Like everything looked sick, but it wasn't sick. Like you know what I mean? Like we had a projector, but like we never really watched like good movies. I mean, like I remember watching Dark Knight. Dark Knight was actually a sick movie. We
Yeah.
watched it. We had like a nice surround sound and everything.
It was just censored every scene.
It was in Polish.
It was in Polish, and it was censored by the church.
you say Dark Knight in Polish.
Czarny Rycerz.
That's alright.
The Dark Knight in Polish.
Dude, my parents were telling me that under communism, there was one Romanian dubber for everything on TV. So every media they watched that was English was dubbed by the same lady in the same tone. She had like no dubbing skills. So it was just imagine someone reading the script and that's what you're watching.
This
me,
SpongeBob.
It's funny how like in one like okay, Europe, right? You go from like France, which is like okay, like nice and whatever, and then you go like a little. The further you go east, it just or at that time, like the further you go east, it just goes like the quality of like shit just starts
Yeah.
going down. You're like, we're not in like we're not. I don't recognize any of this anymore. All the buildings are like like you know in Eurotrip when they go to like. They go to Slovakia,
Yeah.
and then they're like, "Welcome to Bratislava," and there's like all these fucking dilapidated buildings and shit. It's like just a joke that that's what Eastern Europe is, and like the further you go east, especially even Romania, like I would always think Romania.
That's
is
just
like
that's literally
the
just
land of the gypsies.
yeah. Well, I mean that's one, but like it's just an effect of what communism actually is. Like, you have the
Yeah.
Western half
Yeah.
that was like pro-American, pro-capitalist, and like everything looks great, and then you have like the Eastern European side where it was all communist and like.
Yeah.
I remember my parents telling me that they had like food stamps. So like you had like once a week you would find like meat, and the lines to get like your meat was like around the block, and they would get like, I want to say on Christmas Day they would try, they would have 2 oranges, 2 bananas, and like I don't know, some other exotic like
yeah,
fruit.
yeah.
I got a story with that.
Once a year.
My mom said something like, I don't know how often it was, but very, very like rare. They would get oranges for their family. They would get like 1 orange or something, and they would all split it and like divide it up evenly or whatever. And then my dad said he had connections where the guy would come off the back of the truck with a bag of oranges, chop the box in half, give my dad half a box of oranges.
Damn.
Yo, do you know Marius? He's the orange plug of the town. Bro, I got 3 tangerines and 2 pomelo oranges from Marius. They're crazy.
My grandma was telling, like, I cracked the code of like my grandma to like eat these stories out of her, because like she told me, like, so when your parents like grew up and like it was more like what, 60s, 70s, right?
Yeah.
My grandma
60s,
grew up
70s, yeah.
just after the war ended, right? Or like I think she was born in the war, but then after the war ended, she told me this story. I didn't really understand it, but she told me like she was like praising. She said like John F. Kennedy gave me my first dress, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she said because after the war, Slovakia was like they made some sort of, they were exporting something. It was like tar or rubber shit.
Slovakia, number one exporter of shit.
Rubber for tires and shit. I know Slovakia is a big exporter of rubber, and they have a bunch of factories. And she said the government of Slovakia at the time was trading with America for like rations, and they were like, give us your rubber and all your shit, and we'll give you rations. Like, we'll just give you food for the people. And then like sometimes they would get gifts, and like it was stamped by the government. Like the gift was stamped by the government. So she had like a dress, and it was like such a beautiful dress or whatever. She said she kept it. She still has it. Crazy. But it's like incredible, like the crazy shit.
Yeah. My dad was telling me that for him to afford a pair of jeans, he had to work full time, like a regular job, a factory for 1 month. 1 month to get fucking denim jeans, because it was so expensive, because the economy was garbage.
And then there's me blowing a paycheck on a weekend, like
Yeah.
at the bar, not giving a shit. Like fuck.
Those are actually his dad's Levi's.
I'm still
These
wearing
are
them
the
to this day.
1983
They've been passed down.
Krakow edition.
They've been remastered a couple times. Resewn.
Remastered. Levi's 3 HD.
Polish Levi's 3 HD. Matusz takes
Matusz takes.
the Levi factory by storm. Oh,
Dude,
man.
we have to do an episode where we all pick like our 6 favorite movies and we have to defend it, or like 6 favorite songs,
Good.
because that'd be so fucking fun.
Maybe.
I know Eurotrip's gonna
Born
be up there
Ultima.
because you said you're nude. Did you see that before coming here, or did you watch that on like had you
Which
seen
one?
it before meeting me?
The Born Ultimatum.
Born Ultimate.
It's the Born Ultimatum. I'm not gonna say it again. What movie are you talking about?
Eurotrip.
I've seen. Yeah, I watched Eurotrip.
The National Lampoons one, or
No, Eurotrip.
No,
Like
you're thinking
the
of
Eurotrip.
Family Vacation,
Yeah.
or there's another one where they go to Europe.
Yeah.
But no, there's Eurotrip. It's like
Eurotrip.
an indie movie.
Oh, okay.
No, I had seen it because they go to like different countries and stuff. I
You
don't know
have
when
to
I
check
saw
the
it.
budget for that. Was it indie?
It was like 2 million.
We probably
It was
watched half
not,
of that
not a big movie.
here once, I think.
I think the greatest indie movie that we watched was that one movie where they were playing like that board game, and they were in that house in like California, I think, and then something happened where they were like
Time one.
where they
Jumanji.
where they ran like to another house, but then they ran back to the house on the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
What was
I remember.
Yes.
I don't remember what it was called.
It was called
that was a
Jimmy's Time Travel Adventure. I don't know what the fuck it was called, but it was. You've never seen it, obviously.
Jimmy's time. No.
It was a great one.
Jimmy's Time Travel Adventure. No.
You've never seen Jimmy. It
Nope.
was actually Jimmy's Time Travel Adventure 5, but
escaping Eastern.
did you actually get baited?
It's a real. What? It's a real.
Oh.
Bruh.
Get wrecked. Well, I hope you like that clip of getting absolutely debated.
Debated.
It was a movie about, just how different universes converged at one time, and this. So imagine we're in this house, and there's a
Am I
clone
still
of
being
this
debated?
house. No,
No,
This is a real movie.
This is a real
Real
movie.
movie.
Yeah. Can someone explain it better than me?
Jimmy
Though?
takes.
It was
what?
like everything
No,
in the
it's
house.
not good.
No,
What
erase
the
that
fuck
from
is
your
the
memory.
movie called?
We don't know what
We
the movie's
don't
called.
know.
We forgot what it is.
Oh fuck. Oh, so why don't we just call it Untitled Movie? I cannot remember the
Untitled,
title of.
There you go.
Untitled.
Then we
That'd be
go.
What if
Titles
it's
are
called
relevant.
Jimmy's Time Travel Adventure? 6.
Okay, so two worlds collide.
No, it was
multiple
like
worlds.
Sounds
every-
like
the
sounds like
house-
the premise of Drake
Every
and
house
Josh.
was
okay?
like a version.
Two worlds collide. That's exactly what Drake and Josh is about.
One of the all-time.
One of my
greatest.
most favorite shows of all
Thank
time.
you. We gotta talk about that.
That and The
Continue.
Dark Knight.
Okay, describe this.
It was just every house was like its own version of the world, and every time you left the house and came back to the house, you were in like a different version of the multiverse, and you were slowly like figuring that out. So every time they left their group of people at the table and then came back to the house, it was slightly different people.
Yeah.
And then they mixed
good.
up, and then
Yeah,
they
and
thought
then
they
they
were
were
the
just-
same house.
And by the end,
but they were
everyone's like,
different versions of that
dude,
person.
I'm definitely not. In
By
my
the end,
same
everyone's like,
universe."
Jimmy, can someone stop the time travel?
Where is
please?
Jimmy?
I'm thinking of it.
Jimmy's been missing for 5 movies.
Damn. Well, I don't know. Speaking of like, I guess Euro trip. Like, what's you guys have all traveled fairly extensively.
It's a good segue.
What is the best? I guess best trip you've ever been on. Most best is very subjective, but
Yes.
like the most experienced trip that the most fun you've ever had on a trip.
4 privileged guys talk about travel.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Mine was Bangladesh when I went there serving.
No way. Would you
For
do
them.
that?
Build small houses for infant children.
Wow, that's incredible. On a missions trip.
Oh, that's a joke. I would never help small children. Are you kidding me?
You kidding me? I got too much. I'm gonna go to Jamaica.
Can't help
instead.
myself.
That's my answer. Whenever someone asks about,
I can't even
why
help
can't you
myself,
do
yeah.
that? I can barely take care of myself.
Yeah.
I'm hanging on by a goddamn thread here.
Yeah.
But I think Matt should start.
Best trip. I don't know. I would say
I
like
mean, you three all went on.
Iceland
You,
was probably
all three of you went to Iceland, right?
Yeah. I think that's a
I
great
just
story.
keep
to
hearing
tell.
stories about this, and it's like, I kind of like. It's such a weird place. Not a weird place to go, but like, very,
It's not-
very like spin
yeah.
the globe, boom, Iceland. You know,
I would
What,
say
the-
I would
the
say the
stars
story
aligned?
starts with
the worlds
you,
collided. Like, what
and
happened?
then it goes to you, and then it goes to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it
how'd
always
you guys
starts with
pick
me.
Iceland?
Just
though?
the center of the attention. Yeah, so I
Well,
was gonna
the
go to
best
Iceland.
storyteller here.
I wish. Let's see if I can say this entire story without saying like once. Let's go.
So like we.
So like we went to Iceland and like it was pretty lit. No, I wanted to go to Iceland because I was single for the first time in a long time, and I said, "Fuck it, I want to
You
go."
knew
to
Iceland though. Like from the beginning, you were like Iceland.
So Zach had been there before me,
Oh, okay.
so I knew it was cool. But he went in the summertime, so I really wanted to go in the winter because I really wanted to see the Northern Lights. That was the main goal.
Mhm.
Main goal was to fucking see the Northern Lights, just to feel something. And I booked a trip with Richie, whose wedding we all went to here.
That's
we
another.
can talk
good
about,
one.
no, we cannot. That is a story we legally cannot talk about.
Yeah. No.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Congrats.
Cheers,
to
congrats,
Richie.
Richie.
Prosperous. Hopefully they're doing very well.
That's fucking hilarious. So it was just supposed to be me and this buddy who I didn't know that well, but he was down and I was down, so I said, "Fuck it, I'm going with anyone who wants to go with me." And then my mom contacts me about 2 weeks later after we've booked the
She
trip.
contacted you.
She did that. It
Son.
was like through text because she was working with
She
his mom.
contacted my
My
people.
mom, she contacted my assistant. Anyways, mom messaged me and says, "Hey, my coworker wants to, my coworker's son wants to come with you guys." My first thought was, I don't want no nerd coming with me. How do I know he's cool? I don't want if your mom's asking if you can go on a trip with me, you
Yeah,
probably have no
exactly.
friends. You're probably
Yeah.
some weirdo, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to travel with this random person. But I was like, you know what?
It's like going to that kid's birthday party in grade 5.
Exactly.
Can he
Yeah,
come?
yeah.
A pity invite.
And then the parents go like, yeah, he'll come.
And you know what? My mom was trying to get me to go because she told me that your mom said that you said you were looking for
You were
people.
needed people to go. Yeah.
And so I was like,
We're like
We got parent
so-
trapped.
I was like, okay.
we were the
Sure.
ones feeling pity. Be like, okay, well, let's help this guy out.
A little bit of that, but it was also just like she told me about it, and I'm like, well, I haven't been anywhere since we went on vacations with them to like Cuba.
Yeah.
I've never been on any trip without like my parents. So I was like, okay, fuck it. I was like, give me his info, I'll go. And then also my dad was like, you're not gonna go to Iceland. Like he's like, just didn't believe. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna go to fucking Iceland. I was like, that's it. Give me this guy's stuff. Let's book the tickets.
Yeah, so then I was a bit hesitant and I said, fuck it, I'm being too judgmental. Whatever, let's give him a chance. So I said, pass me the kid's Instagram. If he doesn't have it, then I'm going to assume he's some psychopath because whatever. And then he did, looked him up, whatever. Photographer seemed chill. We met up. And then you said that your friends were coming. And that's where Matt came into the picture.
Yeah, no, Marcus just said that, hey, you want to go on a trip? I'm like, where? And he's like, Iceland. I'm like, all right, whatever. We'll go for a week. and then we got our other buddy Erik.
Was that really just how I asked it? Just like, hey, like,
Yeah, it's like, hey, like there's this guy that this,
Hey, there's
no, you're like
this
this
guy.
Romanian guy that my mom knows.
You use the leverage. It's like he's
yeah.
trusted. He used to be trusted.
Yeah.
He was also Romanian.
That he's looking for people to go on a trip with, and I'm like, yeah, fuck it, let's go. So we went on Discord, and then
Holy
planned
fuck,
planned
nerds!
out the
You want to plan an Iceland trip on Discord? It'll be a good time. And
yeah, we
then-
just planned it out on yeah, and then what was it? We met at the airport. Like we haven't even seen each other, and then we're like,
No, we
okay,
had-
like,
we met at
for
Ethel's.
tacos. We
We
met
went
once for tacos.
tacos.
oh, was that before or after?
Before,
Oh,
yeah.
It was like
We-
2 weeks before or something. I think.
We met up at my parents' house, and then we went there after.
Oh yeah, that's where we met Graham. We saw Graham there
yes,
too.
yes, that's when you met Graham.
Specials with Graham.
Not Graham. It's a
Oh yeah, we
different
can't
guy,
legally
different
say
guy.
his name. Some idiot who will never, whose name we shall mention every episode intentionally.
The Red Demon.
The Red Devil.
The Red
The
Devil.
Red Devil.
The Red Devil.
The Red Devil.
The Red Devil.
The Red Devil.
You know what we should do? We should do an entire episode about the Red Devil.
The Red Devil story.
and I
Buddy,
want to,
have-
I want him to watch it and grimace
It would be
to know
6
that he knows
episodes
that
worth.
it's him,
Beads
and
of
no one else
sweat.
knows it's him, but
Yeah.
he's just degenerate.
Can we
as fuck.
blur his face and alter his voice in every video?
I'm down.
And just release
Yeah.
them all.
Yeah. That'll show him for fucking with
And
us.
just-
So you
we-
guys went to Iceland.
Yeah.
Fucking. Did
Yeah.
you see the Northern Lights?
No.
No.
No, we
That's
Marcus
kinda-
took a
kinda
picture of it.
disappointing.
Took like a half a
Not
picture.
gonna lie.
Yeah, it was very disappointing.
I
Half a picture?
The trip
I
was
couldn't
not
see it
disappointing.
with my eyes, but I took the picture like a long exposure and it caught some.
Cool.
I think we would have seen it if we weren't all terribly drunk that night and passed out early. If we would have sat outside for like an hour, we probably could have seen them.
Yeah, if somebody didn't play the yakety sax.
We played yakety sax.
Yeah. Do you want to explain that?
The
The
yakety
viewers?
sax. What the yakety sax is.
Just how stupid that is.
I've never done
Absolutely
that any
stupid.
other time in my life. Except
Of course not.
We had a bottle of wine, and then we were just chilling in a hot tub, and then we all decided to just drink as much as you can, and then pass it around, or we drink 2 sips and pass
just,
it around.
Just
Like, what is
chug the
it?
bottle. We basically just
Yeah.
went like,
And then
like
we
that,
pass the
and
next
then-
person.
and we passed it around.
We did, like,
Dude, we should do an episode where
while
we yak,
playing
where
the
we
song
yak it a
Yakety
sax.
Sax.
where we
Which
do
is
we're
song
doing it
that was
again.
made it.
Oh. Okay.
That's it.
That's
Next
called
episode, we're doing
yakety
yakety sax.
That's what the
Yeah.
song's called, yeah.
Wow.
And then yeah, I end up throwing up because it was fucking
You did
disgusting.
throw up
It
on the
was
side of the
The
disgusting.
real yakety sack.
Yeah, it was literally
Yeah,
yakking
sack.
Yakety sack.
into the side.
Blarg ball. Damn. Traveling is so much fun, dude.
Yeah,
It
no,
is.
I remember. Well, we could tell the airport story, like where we went to the duty free to go get liquor,
Oh yeah.
and I'm ready to go. Like I want to get, because we talked about this, like how much how much illegally can we buy to get across the
Right.
border without having to pay like that stupid tax?
Yeah.
And then what was it? One 26er, 26 ounce, and
What is a 60?
12.
How many
60
milliliters?
60
is
ounces.
3 liters.
that? 1.5
60
liters. I
1.5
think.
liter, 1.5.
A 60, like you're talking like the big tech,
Yeah,
like the one with the
60s are the
handle.
big ones.
Yeah, a hand.
Not a
Yeah.
Texas Mickey, but small.
Yeah, the
60
ones
is
the
a big
handle,
one. That's
they're-
definitely 3 liters.
Well, the 40 doesn't have a handle. 60 has a handle.
Yeah.
And then the Texas Mickey is the
That's
big
fucking-
fucker.
yeah.
That's
Massive. The one that's by the counter.
obnoxiously large.
Yeah.
Like that's like a gag gift.
I think it was a 26er. I don't think it was a 40 because we
Uh,
bought Ciroc.
Yes, it was a 26er. Yes.
It was. I think it was
No,
regular.
it was a
Ciroc.
bigger Ciroc. Though.
It was a bigger
It was a
Ciroc.
big boy. Yeah.
All right, we'll have to fact check this later.
Yeah, we'll fact check this.
But anyways, it was a like a big bottle of liquor and I think 12 beers per person. And then I go in there and I'm looking for a nice bottle, and we ended up
Yeah.
choosing Ciroc, and I think with 12 moose heads. And then Marcus comes in, he's like, I'm gonna drink some wine. I'm gonna drink a little bit. I'm like not even filling up his quota. Like we have a quota. We don't, because Iceland is very expensive for liquor. Like the price per shot is like $13 Canadian
What?
at the
I thought
time.
it was cheaper.
No,
It was
no, no.
unbelievable.
Liquor
Okay,
is
that's where I got the story messed up. I thought it was cheaper there. And then, so you bought it all in Canada.
because we looked it
threw
up.
in your suitcase.
Is it
came
cheaper
there?
Yes, we bought it at the Pearson,
Ah.
and then we went. We shipped it all over.
Because it's an island. Everything has to be shipped there.
Shit.
Yeah.
that's right.
And then
Oh, you
Eric
didn't
and Richie
know.
were the same with Marcus. They're like they were so casual about it. I'm like, no, like we're not gonna be casual with this. We're gonna drink more. So
Richie barely drinks. I didn't drink that much, so it was like 2 bottles of wine. That'd be good for me.
Yeah. Well, we ended up getting three Cirocs. I think it was the red one, the green one, and the yellow one. I think.
And 36 moose heads.
And then 36 moose heads. And then we fly over. We go to pick up our car. It's the smallest fucking car we've ever seen. Hyundai i10. They don't even sell them in Canada. It's a European only car because it's that small. I remember the guys, he looked at us, he's like, are all of you guys seriously gonna fit in? Like, he wanted to like upscale us because like he looked at like five big dudes with suitcases and all this liquor, and he's like, there's no way you're gonna fit in. And I remember
Why didn't we just upscale?
was fucking out of the budget,
Dude,
man. Like,
our budget was tight.
That's true.
That was a trip that we were doing on a shoestring budget. We ate out one time, and then the rest we just ate frozen pizzas. That was the cheapest thing you could eat.
You
Was
ate.
frozen pizzas.
Well, I
You
think
did
we
eat real
I
food,
probably
yeah.
No, I probably ate pizzas too.
I don't really, yeah, and then the hot dogs. So it's funny. The Icelandic special dish is a dirty hot dog at 2 a.m. after the bars.
Dude, 5 a.m.
I remember hearing
I
that.
had that
What
hot dog at
was-
5 a.m.
Yeah,
no, 5 a.m. It was
you
5
would
a.m.
love to club in Iceland.
I watched
It was amazing.
I watched like a half, like, you know, half Thor Bjornsson, like the mountain Game of Thrones. He did a video with some like fitness YouTuber, and like he took him to Iceland, and they were working out doing like a strongman thing, and then afterwards he like, this is what I would do. I used to bounce at the bar here, and then I would come to this like hot dog stand, and he would go to the hot dog stand. And he ordered, I think he ordered a sub, but like,
Dude, this
we are
sub.
famous for hot dogs like, here, and yeah, he said like Iceland is famous for hot dogs or something, or maybe not famous, but like the spot doing it at 2 a.m. is like very famous to do after the bar.
Dude, they were so expensive.
long line,
I remember, I'm
expensive.
pretty sure they were really expensive. Like the subs, the best sub I ever had was 5:50 in the morning, right after all the clubs, and just eating that.
Dude, imagine Firehouse subs after
Dude,
the
it
bar.
was like Firehouse squared. Like it was better than
It was
Firehouse.
just like right there.
It
like
was
a
just-
small walk away from.
I think I paid like
bars.
25 Canadian dollars for a sub. Like it was ridiculous how much you paid, but it was worth it. I'll probably do it again. But I remember the first time we checked our receipts, because that was the first bar and club that I've seen that had tap machines at the
At
bar.
time.
Because
Yeah.
here you don't see tap machines, right? No one gives up the tap machine. You have to pay cash only. There it was like literally 4 per bar table. And I remember we checked the receipts in the morning. I think I spent like $340. You spent like 200.
Yeah.
You spent quite a bit. I spent more money on liquor in Iceland than I did on the entire trip.
Yeah,
When I looked
The
at my
flight
receipts.
and-
That's always how it goes. Though. Like, you always spend so much more at the bar. If you go to the bar, like it's done.
dude. The one thing we have to do as a group is go to a hostel again.
Dude, the hostel
Hostels are
was
the
amazing.
sickest like
Oslo?
vibe.
Like
Hostels.
Oh, hostels.
Yeah, you've never stayed in one. I don't think, right?
No.
You would,
you
dude,
would
you
love
would
a
love
hostel.
it because it's
No.
like imagine
It's just
Eric-
like a big
I can see
orgy,
Eric
like a
living
big
in a
sweaty
hostel.
orgy. Everyone's sleeping above you, sweating.
Yeah.
I could
hooping,
see Eric
sweating,
living
farting.
in a hostel, just perpetually telling
Burping.
girls he's there on a trip, and just trying to bang
Pay for
girls
my-
at the
pay for
hostel.
my stay,
He
pay for my
permanently
stay,
lives
please.
there.
Imagine
it
being the
down.
Simon Leviav of hostels.
Beat
Just
it
like,
down.
baby girl, I am in this hostel one more night. I need
Sell your
sex
car.
or no.
I need money for this. I'm here one more night, please. Please give me money. My enemies.
Sell your
My-
apartment.
I'm
I
staying
need
here
money.
for my enemies.
He
They
tells the
don't
girls,
know.
he's like, "This is my last night here. I'll be gone across the world in the morning."
We'll fly in the jet
So
together.
I actually stay at these hostels because I want to feel human again. You see, my dad owns a diamond company.
I live too lavishly. I reject this life. This is not life for me. I want something more.
This is not me.
I want to feel more.
I don't need 5 stars. 2 stars, good enough.
I could do it.
1 star,
I
2
could do
star.
it. I studied at Juilliard, acting a little bit. I got fired for being. I left for being too good. I was too good, and then I ventured the world and
Yeah.
stayed at hostels trying to.
I had this acting piece where I really wanted to, try to be as mentally insane as possible, and I aced it. I was kicked out of Juilliard. I thought that was my best role ever. I can't believe it. Have you ever thought about faking being mentally insane for long enough to get committed to an asylum, and then what would you do then once you're in there to convince them you're sane? Or
know
could
what-
you?
You know what, Pat? I've never thought about that organically,
Yeah.
ever. But if I ever did, right now, I don't know, like doing it, like planning it out. Like I'm a planner. Like I am
Yeah,
a
I
big
mean-
planner. Like so I like doing shit like that. So if I were to do it, I'd probably pull it off somehow. Like to beat, like you have to kill someone, or like what's
No. I'm talking
scenario?
just start like
just walk around
think-
being fucking crazy and
Dude,
shit.
think about how. So I guess I don't know how fucked up it is to say this, but how easily you could just feign insanity. If I just started not wearing socks and walking around with my shirt everywhere and quitting my job,
Yeah.
I could be crazy in a span of a week and like still be fully sane. But it's like it just people don't expect you to stray from your norm, right? So I think I could do it with relative ease.
I was thinking more about the escape and how I would plan a
No,
2-year timeline
not
where
even
I
escape.
would hone my body physically every night for 2 years until I could climb out the bars and break a neck on the way out if I need to.
Not even escape. I'm talking like you have to just now. So if you're in an asylum, right? You have to now convince them that you're not the way you are and that it was a bit. Do you think they would just think you're even more insane if you're like, I was just acting, I was just testing it out?
Fuck.
You know what I'm saying?
Fuck no. They would punish you for doing that.
Right?
They would be like
Yeah.
even if like the judge or the fucking prosecutor believed you after, or like say you got admitted, right?
Yeah.
And then a week later, whoever covers your case with, and then you're, oh, I was kidding, but gotcha, good one. And if they did believe you, they would be like, for doing all that work, congrats, you're here now. Like 100%, that's what I would do. If I was the prosecutor or whatever, the judge, and you played me that hard, actually, it's probably not even that hard.
It's
to
not
play,
that hard,
because
right?
guys do it all the time.
Yeah.
Like they just, pretend I'm pleading insanity,
Yeah.
and then boom, then they don't have to go to jail. They go to the cushy cell, and then they get treated like a crazy person. But
Yeah, because you really have nothing to lose. I mean, you have
Yeah.
technically everything to lose, so it's
Yeah.
like you have to be 100% committed to like
Losing
what
it.
you're. Yeah,
All you have to do to get out of that is continue to act insane and then dial it down a percentage every day.
Yeah.
Like
Or
you're
just
getting
say,
better.
like
Yeah.
you're getting
Yeah.
better.
And then once you
yeah.
get better, you can just go out.
That's pretty
I
good.
how
don't
it
think they
works.
just let you out.
If I ever
Yeah,
do
if
this,
you get
now
better,
you
that's
have
how it
my
works.
I'm just farming ideas for when I do this in 2037.
We have to cut this all out because I'm actually doing this right now. You guys can't. It's in the motion.
Okay, thing I just thought
My
of.
erratic behavior.
It's getting more and more erratic. So if I thought about this, because if I was Mr. Beast, if I had Mr. Beast money and I would film ridiculous YouTube videos, what I would test, because I want to do it, I want to be in the situation is I want to see if we could put someone in a room, a white room, no nothing inside of it, just a toilet and a bed, that's it. No like stimulus, no desk, no nothing. And then put them in there for either, a year or a month. I'm not
Dude,
sure what would fuck them
They
up.
kind of did that. Vsauce did that.
Yes.
Yeah, but
I-
not for
I-
not
that
for
was
not
good,
for
though.
a
That was
long
Good.
time.
I
good.
rewatched that like
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. I think.
Not for a long time and not for like $1 million.
Michael,
Would
He
you
did
do
it for
it?
3 days and he almost lost his mind.
Yeah, so I
How
think
could
I
you,
could
if
do
you
it
did
for
it for
a
a
month.
year, they would literally lose their mind.
I think I could do it for $1 million. I could do it for a year.
See, I think we're both
For
fucking.
And
One
and, and
year?
I'd be
I
li-
don't
and someone
think
could
you
live
could.
stream the
no
whole time.
way.
Did
There's
you
no
watch
way.
the one, the 3 days one?
The 3 days one? No, I haven't.
Okay, well, you watch that and then you
Watch
tell me
it
how
and
you
then-
could do
exactly.
it
Okay,
for a
okay.
year.
Like imagine,
I'll dial it back. Mr. Beast, I'll do it for a month.
imagine what one day without talking to anyone, without looking at anything, just stand
No,
in one.
The worst about it was the time, because they had a constant light that was on all day, and he had no watches, no nothing, no way to tell time.
So you're
Yeah.
gonna tell
So
if
he
it's night
lost
or
track.
Yeah.
So he only
Yeah.
had to do it for like 3 days,
Yeah.
and like a day in, it's like when you go to sleep, he didn't know how long he slept for. He thinks, oh, I slept for 8 hours. He slept for like 2.5 hours. So then he's like, it must be Saturday at 6 o'clock. It's Friday at 9 p.m. And he's like, what the hell?
It's fucked.
Is
And
it
then,
that
he
bad?
at
Yeah.
3 days in, he couldn't tell if he was awake or asleep.
dude, you would start
Like he had a
hallucinating.
realer than real premonition or
Yeah.
something, or a dream that time was up, and they had can't come and open the door for him. And then he was like, was that real? And then like he was puzzled in his head, and he went and he
Yes.
reached to open the door, thinking he's done the thing. 3 days are up, and he opens the door, just a crack, and they're all like, and then he's like, no, that didn't happen. And he closed the door back, and he's right. He still had like hours and hours to go. He couldn't tell if he was awake or asleep.
Okay. What about daylight and you have a clock and it dims for sleep? You know when you're sleeping. Let's change like that. Would you do it? I think I would do it. Still
Cheating.
for a month.
That's
cheating.
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 How's it
That's
cheating?
not the experience.
Cheating. Dude, lock yourself in this room.
And
Take
stare
out-
at that.
Take out,
fucking-
take out everything from this room, and then just the only thing you have is that thing.
Static.
yeah, and the
That'd be
ring.
scary.
And
That
yeah.
girl comes out. Whatever her
Ring
name.
girl?
Yeah.
She comes on and sucks on her
I
nipples.
saw one. I saw.
Oh,
I saw a
stop it.
TikTok last night. I shouldn't have watched. I was fucking laying in bed like pretty high, and I'm like I'm watching TikTok, and it was like what they call it sleep paralysis. What's sleep paralysis like? And he's like laying in the bed with the fisheye lens, and it's all red, like he's got the red lights on. And then this thing comes in the fucking doorway, and then this thing comes in the doorway and like dark, like shadow starts crawling on the bed like this, and I'm like, oh fuck. But no, basically, yeah, there's just fucking sleep paralysis. I've engaged in sleep paralysis once in high school. Like me and my buddies were really
You mean
good.
when you paralyzed the girl, slowly wrapped up on her bed?
No,
You simulated sleep paralysis.
He
for
engaged
someone.
in sleep paralysis.
she said. No, me and my buddies used to be like really into it. My one.
What are you into? I'm into sleep paralysis.
I
I'm not a
thought the
huge.
demon-
No,
boner.
like it's because it's the first step to like lucid dreaming is what they say. You have to achieve sleep paralysis. So we were
That's
like
not true.
so into it.
Okay,
So
okay.
my buddy, my buddy Nick, we used to watch these videos. Like we'd go home and like, yo, did you see the new like? His name was like Kai or something like so zen. He was like, and he had this ponytail, and he would talk about. He's like, last night I had achieved sleep paralysis, and I saw that he would like very like ASMR voice, and he would like explain how he went into sleep paralysis and then had a lucid dream. And my buddy was like, both of us were so into it, and every night we would like go home and like try and we would put on our headphones and like listen to binaural beats.
What?
At the proper wavelength.
You put a half ping pong ball
Yeah,
in your eye.
Yeah, sleep mask. No, I had a
hypnagogia or whatever.
sleep mask on and the like for hours, man. I remember sitting there for 2 hours. Like, I'm like, this is gonna happen soon. And I did. I want to say that I got to sleep paralysis, but I never saw like demons or no shit like that. But like I couldn't move. Like I remember being awake and I opened my eyes, but I couldn't move my body. It was kind of not too crazy of an experience, but never got to lucid dream.
Let's just try a float tank.
I do want to try.
I would love to try a float tank. You
Actually,
could try
like,
that same
I
thing in
wholesomely
there.
do.
That probably work.
Yeah.
I have some pretty like fun like lucid dream stories because I've lucid dreamed a couple times, like many times.
Now, lucid dreamed or lucid dreamt? Because you said dreamed. And did you take English in high school or no?
Shut the fuck
Wait,
up. Because he's still.
he's still dreaming.
Oh,
This
you're,
is-
oh, that's
we're-
right. Okay.
His whole life's been a nightmare.
Matt's asleep on his computer desk right now. With
He
a
wakes
beer.
up. He wakes up. He's
16?
in the church. Fuck no. he's in Bosnia still.
He's in Magic Georgia.
He wakes up to a meter stick smacking his head. Mateusz.
Let's hear it.
So you've had lucid dreams?
No, it was just like it was a cool dream that I was having, and then I realized in my dream that I'm dreaming, and it's like at that point you gain control of yourself in your dream. So like there was like this one dream I was having. I run into like this apartment building, and then I get to like the 30th floor, and then this is when the dream's controlling me. I walk outside and I'm looking on the balcony. Like I feel vertigo. I can see around me like there's like so much depth and shit. And then I'm like, wait a second, like I want to like jump and skydive, because I know I'm dreaming. I know this isn't real. Then at that point, like I feel like I could. And then I went and I ran and I jumped. I could feel the wind blowing against my face. I could feel like that gut feeling of you falling. I could feel everything. And then as soon as I hit the ground, I woke up.
As soon as you hit the ground, you started masturbating and you woke up to a wet dream.
Yeah. You
My
ever done that?
undies are soaked. My undies are soaked.
Yeah, you got it.
I loved rolling around in my mushy undy pants.
It's disgusting.
Mooshy smooshy.
Oh man, I've had some pretty intense dreams. Like, yeah, I used to write down my dreams. Like, when I don't know, I'm so into
Like
that.
Batman used to.
Yeah. in the Batman movie, he's like writing. He's like, I have become night. I can't sleep, and he writes down like what he did that night. He's like, I stalked a woman for 12 blocks, and then I beat the shit out of 14 criminals.
And 3 homeless men.
I
That's
think I'm
collateral.
homosexual. I used to write down my dreams like the morning of, like, and you know when you wake up, when you wake up and you can't, like, you remember it for like a little bit. You're all cushy and tushy. You're like, that was a great dream. And then you wake up, have breakfast. You're like, fuck, what did I dream about? Can't fucking remember. So I would write it down like immediately after.
I dreamt of stalking a woman.
8 blocks. I think I'm homosexual.
I think I'm gay.
And then I'm eating my breakfast, playing the Nirvana song. No, I would write down my dreams. I had some pretty intense dreams, like fucking riding dragons and shit. walking on water. I think I'm Jesus. I am the Messiah. It's ones where I was like in a sandstorm.
Darude stands up.
In Damascus. I had one where I was in Damascus.
Damascus.
I was in Damascus doing a pilgrimage.
What's Damascus?
This
It
is
sounds familiar, but yeah.
I think it's the capital city of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia. It's a holy city, Damascus.
Ah, you were on the road.
It's not Mecca is a big box, big black box, and then Damascus. Is
Damascus.
I think it's in Saudi
Damascus.
Arabia. Yeah,
He was
Damascus.
trying to
Damascus.
get
These
some
balls
Damascus.
in your mouth.
I saw it. It was 911. I have an emergency, and it's like, yes, what's your emergency? Emerge these nuts.
It's in Syria.
Emergency. Oh, it was emerge and see these nuts in your mouth, and it was like it was a video, like a TikTok, and it was like Peter Parker, like Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker, and it goes, emergency these nuts, and then it played the da 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 da. You know, the I can't do fucking sound effects, man. It was like the yes, like from the Spider-Man, those Spider-Man movies.
Yeah. Not that I can do any better, but
Like when he's on the building and he looks down and he's like, whoa, I can fucking climb and shit. That sound effect.
Yeah.
You'll play it in post.
I'll play just walkie slash bruh. Remember that sound?
Oh man, crazy shit.
Do you have any ghost stories?
My closet makes noises every once in a while, like it bangs and shit. I don't know what that is.
They just keep trying to get out.
It's Rob. It's Rob Dangus.
Shut up in there.
Shut the fuck up!
It's Rob Dangus.
Wait till I need you.
Rob Dangus. Nothing. No one's ever had anything like spooky happen to
Not
them.
really.
That is unexplained.
I had this one when I was a kid. Where
The
it was, like,
atheist had something happen to him. That's scary.
where it was it's so stupid. It was just I was with my sister or whatever. We were standing in like the bathroom or whatever, both brushing our teeth, and then we go to bed and we go to our separate rooms. And right as I got in bed, I felt the hairbrush like just like hit me on the bed. I was like, go through this. And I looked, she wasn't there.
Let's be
I was
honest.
like, it was a ghost. But now I know she threw it at me. That was
Marcus is standing in the mirror, turns the lights off. All you hear is just. And he's like, "What the fuck?" His pants go down. 2 fingers up his ass. Oh,
Sis.
it's the ghost again.
It's not
you?
sis. It's your dad. I'm doing a check.
It's Vlad. It's
It's time for your prostate exam, Marcus. You're 6 now. I must check.
You're becoming a man.
No, I had one that is explainable, but I can see why someone who wouldn't want it explained would find it creepy. So I was at my ex's house after school. It was 3 p.m. and the whole family claimed that the grandfather was still around, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And then they said that the radio would randomly turn on downstairs and in her little sister's bedroom upstairs. And I was like, okay, whatever. Yeah, things turn on. You know, electronics like fuck up all the time.
Things don't just turn on, but
I mean, I think they're just
the radio-
attributing that whatever the fuck's happening to this ghost, right?
Okay.
it
So-
turned on and played German war propaganda.
Papa, no more of this. You lost.
She
was German. She was
The
German.
war is not over. It is still waging on.
So all of a sudden she had one of those iPod Touch docks, and it's just going because it also had the radio, and it just goes, and they all look at each other mortified, and they're like, "We're not going upstairs to check on this." Okay, I'll take care of this. I walk upstairs. I go to the fucking iPod dock, unplug it. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, obviously there's batteries in the bottom. Flip it upside down. Pop the lid off. No batteries.
Okay.
Grab it, bring it all the way downstairs, set it on the table, and it's just going. And they're like, what the fuck? And then I Googled, and it's like called residual energy. And sometimes when things are plugged in for a long time, they can retain energy. But at the time, I was fucking mortified.
You know, it must have been near some crystals, and it was picking out residual energy.
Wow,
It's
the
amethyst.
powers.
Yeah, the amethyst or the ancient beacons of Avignale.
Frank Abagnale Jr.
No, I tried to get everyone afterwards. I said those stones,
Oh, yeah,
those pillars
yeah,
you sent, and I was like, they must have been made of hands on these.
Yeah, that was too obvious.
What was the first
Hands
one?
on these
you-
nuts.
what was
That
the
was
first one you
hilarious,
sent,
yeah.
though? It was the great beacon of what
Something
was
of
that?
Abu Ghraib.
Yeah, Abu Ghraib.
Abu Ghraib.
The pillars of Abu Ghraib. That shit fucked
Well,
me
what
up.
were they? What the hell did you send?
Did you
what
never
the
watch The
fuck?
Fifth Element?
A long time ago at a 4th grade
Yeah, it must have been
sleepover.
very, very long
Nerds.
time
Yeah,
ago.
I've seen the movie a bunch of times. I love that show.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
First time I watched that movie, I played Dark Sector on PlayStation 3, and then I stayed up and watched Fifth Element because there's naked chicks in that movie, right? There's one
Aliens.
naked
I know
scene
she
in
got
that
the
movie.
stretch.
Oh,
She's got the
yeah,
orange
yeah.
strappy thing.
Yeah.
My buddy said, he's like, dude, there's a naked chick in this
Yeah,
movie.
there is.
And like and I was like, I'll bet. All right, let's see it. And then we watched it, and it's like there's fucking like one naked chick, and then at the end you
Lame.
realize that he's fucking, it's himself or some shit in the fucking past.
What? No, that's not
He's
the
the
premise at
naked chick.
No, he is the naked chick, and he wakes up from a dream, and he's in Bosnia again. He's like, fuck no.
all. He
He's
wakes
in
up
the
from a
church.
dream. He's in Jimmy's Time Travel 6.
Oh god, fucking two worlds collide.
No, yeah. Jesus Christ, I'm baked as fuck.
Yeah, dude, this fucking pen, man.
You guys are going ham on that thing.
But no, Eric, you were talking about doing dumb things and rare things. Would you like to tell the group? You can speak to the camera directly about how you met us in Jamaica.
Oh, that's a long story. Yeah, well, shit. I mean, fuck. I think I met you in. When did you move in?
June.
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 Right.
So I would have met you like maybe a week or two after. Because I love telling the story from the very beginning because like honestly the timeline fits.
Yes.
And like when I don't know if I told you guys, but like when I saw him moving in, I think I was pulling with my car and I'm like, we get a lot like on the back of the street. It's very tight. Like usually like we know a lot of the people and all this. And then I think I saw you guys playing basketball or something, and then we briefly did a little thing. And I think somebody asked me if I played basketball, and I was like, yeah. And then you lent me your Game Boy, and then it was history from there. But then you guys were talking about going on this trip to Jamaica in early talks in like August, maybe September.
Yeah, July. August.
And then once there was more traction going on, by the way, Bruno, who went on the trip, he told everyone that he had bought tickets.
Yeah.
Already. He was like, guys, I'm in. Me and Nati are in. But he said he didn't buy tickets until after. He told me he didn't buy tickets until like 3 weeks before.
Yeah.
2 weeks before.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he told everyone he bought tickets like 2 months before, just to get the train going, right?
Yeah.
Which is, it's an admirable tactic, and it worked. But so basically, yeah, you guys said you were going on a trip, and then like I don't know, I started hanging out with you guys a lot more, and like we were really gelling. And then you guys were like, you gotta come. Like, yo, this will be fun. Like, it's once in a lifetime. I remember you kept saying once in a lifetime.
Yeah, we kept
once in a
saying like
lifetime.
we
We're
kept
getting
pushing.
older. Like, when are we gonna
Yeah.
get together like this? Book time off. And I was like, dude, I don't know. And I was really on the fence about it because money was tight, and I'm like, fuck. Like, I had just left my job and all this, and I was like, fuck. But that is something that I would do, where it's like I would fucking jump ship with like strangers that I just met, and yeah. So I kept telling you guys, I'm like, oh, I can't do it. And like each passing week, it slowly like became, I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. And then like 3 weeks before, I was like 80% up. I'm like, yeah. And then I started planning a little bit. And meanwhile, the whole time I'm saying like, I'm kind of on the fence about it, telling you guys still. And then must have done something before too that was a little funny, because you guys were like, he might do it. Like, he might do it. And then the night before, I booked it 2 nights before.
Jeez.
Booked it 2 nights before. And then the night before, to really throw you guys off, I went to Oktoberfest.
Yeah, you went out.
I went out the
You
night
went out that
before.
night,
I got
yeah.
fucking hammered.
Yeah.
And then I think I came back. Or no, because I was at the neighbors, and then I
Yeah.
came by.
Yeah.
And then I said, I'm because I was drinking with the neighbors, and then I'm like, I'm going to Oktoberfest. And then you guys are like, okay, well, he's fucking getting hammered tonight. And I was sending pictures
Yeah.
to verify.
Yeah, throw in the pictures
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
of what you were saying.
I was throwing pictures in. I was like, I'm at Oktoberfest, whatever. It wasn't that lit. It was like COVID Oktoberfest, so whatever. But we were still getting drunk. And then you guys were like, oh, he's not coming. And then I remember I didn't sleep that night, because I remember I was like, I set it up. I called my buddy, and I was like, dude, can you drive me to Toronto, to Pearson at like 4 in the morning, please?
Yeah, we went early too.
Yeah. You guys didn't go early. I remember getting up, and I got up at like, well, no, I didn't sleep. So I was like out the door. I remember I didn't want to get picked up at my house, because just in case you guys were out, I didn't want to get seen. So I walked over to the convenience store. And I remember like walking by and like looking at the front door, or looking at the house, and I'm like, lights are on, but nobody's like, there's no movement. And I'm like,
Let's run also.
4:30 in the morning. I'm like, okay, like we should be okay. And I'm like sweating bullets. Like The main goal was to just get out of town, get there first, and then be like 2 steps ahead, because then everything was safe. So my buddy picks me up, we got to Pearson in like 35 minutes. Like he was buzzing, like 150, then, like 401. Get to Pearson, drop off, and like going through all the lines and shit. I was so sketched out because I'm like, you, especially you. I'm like, you're on the ball usually. Like, you're on the ball about timing, everything. Get there early, like da da da. So I'm like, okay, like I'm always checking my shoulder, making sure. Nothing. I see nothing. I'm like, okay, nobody. I'm good. Maybe I got here early. Going through checkout, I get my shit. I had edibles tucked in my gooch, and as I'm going through the scanning thing, I realized
They're legal, you know that, right?
But in
international.
an international airport,
Yeah.
I was like, I
Mhm.
understood that they're legal because they had like all the market. I bought them from a store, but I'm like, fuck, and I go like, oh my, oh shit, and I remember like undoing I think I was wearing sweatpants, and I was like, I fucking reach in my pants, and I'm like, I had two individual packages with like 10. They were like 10 mils each.
Yeah.
So, but even like whatever. So I just fucking take them, I pop them both, and I'm like, fuck. Or no, I popped one before, and then I popped the second one, and I was already stoned going through, like so stoned going through when they were like do the pat down thing. Meanwhile, they didn't give a fuck. I made it through, put my bag on. I was like, fuck, I made it. My bag gets pulled aside because I'm watching my bag. I'm like, fuck, I'm waiting for it, and then they're like, so whose bag is this? Come over. I'm like, yeah, that's my bag, and he's like, what is in the contents of here? And I'm like, he's an Indian guy. And
Are you sure?
and yeah,
He's an Italian guy. I just do a really bad Italian accent.
I do a really bad Italian. And he's like, yeah, like what's in here? And
It's
I'm
your
like,
fucking bag.
it's your fucking bag, man. And he's like, yeah, like what's in here? I was like, I don't know. I have like a razor. I'm trying to think of like sus shit. Like I have a razor, like maybe I bought my iPad. And then and he's like, what? He goes, what this? Pulls it out. It's I'm a psychopath. I use like bar soap, not like liquid soap. And I was like, oh, that's my Irish Spring, bro. And he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, you can cut it open. He's like, okay. So I looked it up afterwards, and sometimes they have like nitro, like chemicals that are used in bombs, in nitroglycerin or whatever. And so I made it through, all good. Made it to the terminal, and still no sign of you guys. It's like 6:30, right? 6:30 in the morning.
What time was
Our
the flight?
flight was
Was it
maybe
9?
8 o'clock.
8 or 9?
Yeah, 8
or
o'clock.
something like that. And I'm like, fuck, where are these guys? I'm so stoned. And the whole time, my wardrobe, my dress, I have a fucking toque on,
Yeah.
a balaclava or a ski sleeve,
mask.
Ski like a neck thing, a sweater, a gray sweater, and like sweatpants, and maybe just normal shoes.
Yeah, we were on a trip to fucking
But I
Jamaica.
looked so suspicious.
Yeah, on a trip
Yeah.
to
In the
Jamaica,
airport.
this
I never
guy's
thought
wearing
about
a
that.
hat,
October.
scarf.
It was a mild day. Maybe a little chilly in the morning, but like it
Yeah.
wasn't that cold in October. I'm sitting there. I'm like, what the fuck? There's nothing in the group chat. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm thinking, there's no way. There's no way. Maybe they canceled. Maybe it's a different flight. I don't know.
That would have been hilarious.
fucking funny.
And then there was some reminiscence, some ruminating going on in the chat. And I remember Mike was the first one to say, "It's like, yo, I'm at the terminal or whatever." And I'm like, "Okay, all right, we're good." And then first person I saw, I think was you. Come up, you guys sit at that table in the middle, like a bunch of goofs. I'm fucking snapping pics of you.
Yeah,
Pat going to the ATM, his card keeps getting declined.
I remember that.
And then
Had
he kept
$3
going up
left.
because I remember I went to that ATM was fucked
Yeah.
anyway because I was
Yeah.
trying to get shit from there too. But and then you guys went on first, and I stayed a lengthy behind you. And then as soon as I was on the plane, I was like, boom.
It's so fun, just
Dude,
like
it was-
stalking your friend
Yeah,
group
it was
from like
amazing.
100 meters
Because
away.
I remember looking at him,
That sounds
and I'm like,
hilarious.
what a fucking weirdo! Like, who the fuck wears this? And like,
Yeah.
he looked at me like deer in headlights. I remember your eyes were so wide. You're like, and then I remember thinking, you're probably thinking, shit, does he recognize? I looked through you, man. Like, I didn't even notice that you were
Yeah.
there.
Meanwhile, the whole time I'm thinking, I'm like, I've worn this sweater around these guys. This toque, I wear this toque. And I'm like, I thought for sure maybe if somebody caught a long enough stare, they'd be like, wait. But then I'm thinking, like, I think too highly of you. I'm like these guys don't know. These guys don't pay attention to
These
what's
guys are
trying to
also
observe
very
it.
stoned.
yeah. I didn't know that too at the time. But so getting on the plane, I was like, boom, checkpoint number 1, we're out of the cut. We're in the air. And then I'm the whole time I'm just like playing fucking Pokemon. And
Were you
then
scared to pee on the airplane?
I didn't pee in the
Wow.
On the plane, did they have to walk past you?
No, because they went on first. I was
Oh,
behind.
okay.
And then you guys were at the back. Like you guys were at
Yeah,
the back. of
yeah,
the
you were
plane
the front of
flying
the
there.
airplane,
I was in the middle somewhere, and yeah, I had a pleasant flight there. And then when we landed, I was like, okay, this is when the real challenge starts, because like the group gets tighter. When we're all boarding the airplane, we go our separate ways. But like when we get to the hotel, that's when actually we didn't even when we were. Oh my god! Even like through the Jamaican airport, that was tight.
Imagine
Because-
if you would have walked past them on the plane, just Monsieur.
It, you know what? It worked
don't
out in my
notice.
favor that you guys went on first and you guys were in the back, because you guys went on first and I was ahead of you, and then when I got off, I was way ahead of you. So I got a big jump. Getting off the plane is always harder than getting on the plane. So I got off the plane. I was like running through the airport, like speeding, and it's 32 degrees in Jamaica, and I'm still wearing a
So
suit,
that's stupid.
still wearing a sweater, still wearing sweatpants, and I'm fucking sweating my tits off. Go through, check, no problem. Go through. There's a point where you had to pull down your mask to get your picture taken for the visa thing, and then I saw Matt coming down the stairway, and I'm like, fuck, pull it down, take the picture, throw it back up, and then you guys were in behind me when I was getting those pictures taken, and then boom, breeze through. Make my way onto the bus. I was first one on the bus, and the guy taking my shit is like, oh, trying to talk to me. I'm like, I gotta go. Throws my shit under the bus, and then I remember, and the bus was tight. Like if I thought the airplane was tight, bus was tight. There's two or three seats. There's like 20, 40 people on the bus.
It's a coach bus.
Coach bus.
Yeah,
Like
and
it's
that's where
tight.
like I can't believe that we didn't recognize you.
Yeah.
Time out soon. Where we set yours?
What's that?
I'm just
Side
not-
note: if you recorded this as a YouTube video, it would have gone viral as fuck. I surprised my friends in Jamaica.
Yeah,
like a
recorded
David
every
Dobrik
step of the
style,
way.
It
Yeah,
was like
that would have been so sick.
Oh,
it
that
would have
would've
been fucking insane.
Yeah, because it would. Yeah, they would have been. I should like. I thought about it, and I have pictures to support.
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
I'm not like doing. It would have been kind of. I could have maybe. Anyway, on the bus, and I remember I got the closest to the window, and I remember just looking out like a depressed boy. But I remember getting pictures of Mike, you walking onto the bus, and I'm like, this is gonna be so fucking good. I'm like, we're in the second stage, we're in the country. Third stage is getting to the hotel, getting through the checkpoints, and that's it. On the bus, these guys are walking by. I remember doing this, looking up. You guys are all walking by me, and you guys definitely looked at me and they're like, fuck. And multiple people that we met later on in the trip told me that like, we thought you were gonna fucking bomb the bus, bomb the plane,
dude, yeah.
because
I
you
was
looked like the
thinking that,
Unabomber.
like, you wouldn't in the airport. Wouldn't you have looked suspicious? Like,
Oh yeah.
fucking just all covered up, looking
Oh, yeah.
shady.
Yeah, especially
like-
going to Jamaica.
Oh, I had a
wearing
duffel
left
bag
and
and a
right.
backpack, and a toque and a mask, and a sweater in Jamaica.
to Jamaica.
In Jamaica, I didn't want to take the sweater off. Why don't you want to take the sweater off, sir? I can't. I can't. You don't want to see.
I'm hiding
want it.
things.
Yeah, just-
I'm hiding from my enemies. And then we made it to the resort. I was fucking ran off that bus, and then in the lobby, that was fucking tight too, because you
Dude,
guys
yeah.
were right beside me in the lobby.
The line was big to get
Big
our
line.
cards.
Yep, I was ahead. I was like maybe two people lengths ahead of you guys, and I remember asking the people
They're
who
fun.
we became friends with. I was like, guys, I pulled out my mask. I'm like, guys, like, those are my. I have to tell you, guys, I have to tell you something. And they go, oh fuck, now it's happening now.
Yeah.
I go, those are my buddies behind me. I'm dressed like this because I'm surprising them, and I want to see like, do you guys mind? And they're like, oh my god. They're like, no way.
What did you
They're-
tell them?
I just told them I was like
To that couple.
surprising these guys that
Yeah.
like they didn't know
No,
I
to
was
who?
coming. To the couple in front of us that
Yeah,
we ended
yeah.
up becoming friends with later on, and they were like, oh my god. They look at each other like, yeah, go ahead, that's awesome. And then I went, which was the best thing that could have happened, because like that line was fucking
It was so slow.
so slow.
We waited like an hour at least.
And I felt bad because I got my shit and it took like 5 minutes left, and then the people behind me, they hadn't even gone up yet. So I was like, fuck. So I was like, I'm gonna fucking go to my room, I'm gonna sleep, the master plan, I was gonna sleep. I got into my room, I was like, I was gonna sleep, and I'm gonna fucking get a good little rest, see them at the buffet, find them, wear my fucking like Don Johnson Miami Vice fucking button down, be smoking a cigar with glasses on, and then I'd say to the waiter, I'd be like, can you throw a drink those there with? like scotch on the rocks, throw 5 over that way, and say it's from the
You
gentleman.
just
Man.
throw 5 chicken wings over
Over
that
there
table.
was fucking legendary.
And then I'd be smoking. My plan was I'd be smoking, sitting there like this, and I'd be like pull up the glass and be like, "What's up, boys?" And then I'd see them from the glass, and they'd all be like, "Ah!" They'll freak out. I went back to my room. I got undressed, and I'm like looking at myself in the mirror. I'm like, I fucking did it. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna grab just a quick bite. Go outside my room. It's like that Spider-Man meme where like they're all three of them are looking at. There, it was Mike right in front of me. Mike, no, it was Mike. It was just Mike.
Just Mike?
Mike goes, yeah, and he was like, no, he couldn't talk, and I was like, I was so tired, and I was like, fuck. I was like, yeah. and then he's like, dude, no way. And then I think we hugged and dabbed up, and then he's like, Bruno. I went to Bruno first, and that was a shit show.
Now, how did you dab up? Was it a snap or was it
Did you guys slide?
We did this, and then we kissed, and then and then then saw Bruno like a little kid. It was so funny. Went into his room, and then Mike goes, "Look who's here!" And then Bruno turns around. He goes, "What the?" He's like, "No!" Started jumping on the beds and shit. And Nati was in that room too, and he's like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Like, Nati didn't know what the fuck was going on, and then we saw you next, and that was funny. And then you were like, "You fucking little shit, I can't believe it." Yeah, and then yours was good too. Like that was fucking so good. Everyone converges, and then you turn around, you're like, "No fucking way."
It went from like because it was already hype. There was hype like being there. Then when you showed up and like you were actually there, like it like tripled and like. Yeah, it got so fucked up that night.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, everyone blacked out that night.
Yeah, it was fucked.
Dude, the funniest thing about what you did, is that it shows that if someone hired a private investigator, you'd never fucking know it. You would never know it. Like maybe you would be more paranoid if you had a reason for someone to hire a private investigator on you, but imagine that we literally had no idea that you were there.
That's funny. That's great.
You could have. What would have been the ultimate introvert meta is if you did that entire trip and just had a bunch of pictures of us, and then we just came home.
I was like, how weird would it be if you did the whole trip and didn't meet up with you guys and just took secret photos?
You had like a disguise
above your bed overnight, and then come back home and
travel guide.
That's what.
Imagine
That's
I
insane.
became friends with you there in my disguise.
Yeah.
I'd be like, "How's it going, guys? My name is Luigi." And then at the end, I go, "Psych!" And then they're like, "No, we like Luigi better." And then you're like, "Oh."
And then because you could have played the card, because at first we'd probably be like, "Yo, that's Eric," but then we're like, Eric never came, and like you could have had like some kind of background story of you.
Yeah, have someone posting on your phone back on a bunch of pictures pre-taken.
That's some Silent Leviathan shit. Dude.
Yeah,
You seduced one of them in your disguise.
Yeah. And then I find out that actually
Mission Impossible face
find out one of
revealing.
them's actually gay.
Yeah, Bruno.
I know Bruno's gay.
That's how you tell it. You just post a picture of Bruno sucking your dick in the chat. Gotcha, boys. And then just the reverse cam, and it's just a really bad disguise.
It's the glasses with the nose.
The grouch. Wow, we found him out. We found him out.
Good.
Oh shit.
No, it's funny because we were just talking about that today, where like we go up to the cottage, and I'm like, I don't know. And Pat's like, "You're coming," right? I'm like, come. But like, imagine I do the same thing, and it's like I recorded this time, and it's like, I left on Tuesday this time, and I walked up, so they wouldn't have any idea. I drove, and then I rented the cottage next door, and then I spied up the whole time.
You fuck with us like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Knocks on the door at night, a chainsaw just across the lake.
Dude, all Eric did now is just create a new precedent that will fuck up all future plans, because everyone now wants to do something like that. Yeah. So everyone's gonna say no to everything because they secretly want to be the one who comes.
If anything, it'll just keep getting like
better.
It'll have to like if you do it, it has to be well done.
I can't wait for mine when I just disappear for 5 years and come back. It was all a prank.
I'm actually gonna time travel and go to Jamaica.
I'm gonna fake my own death for 10 years.
Yeah, it gets to the point where we start like
it's a prank,
discovering
man.
new elements and shit. Like,
dude, this is Palladium 37.
And I used it to reverse aging on Matt's face to make him a child again.
Dude, this is not funny. Turn it off.
Actually pulled Jamaica closer to the North America.
It's like a despicable me.
Jamaica's
shit.
part of the Soviet Union.
I reinstated the Soviet Union as a prank,
and I added Jamaica to it.
The capital of Kingston is now the Kremlin.
The Kremlin.
I've transported the Kremlin
to Kingston.
Yeah, man.
And they don't drive Skoda. They drive Toyota Tacomas with 50 cows on the back.
Dude, that was
We
actually
did see
fucking
that.
sick.
Yeah.
We
Just a
were-
quick explanation. Yeah, we were just driving down in a bus, and then a guy
In a bus,
drove
in the back of the bus,
in the back of the bus.
in the back of the party bus.
I love that fucking country.
Beautiful
so much.
Jamaica, beautiful country.
Beautiful people, and then we're just vibing. The guys just like going on about
Blasting music.
everything. Yeah, we're blasting.
having a good
Great
time.
time. And then all you hear is just the Doppler effect. A fucking cop car raced by it, and it was a truck, and in the back was a guy with an M4, just like pointing
Machine gun.
straight at, and the guy was going like $150.
Standing,
He was
in
standing-
the
there was
back.
standing
but
in the back.
It was almost. It looked. Yeah, was he holding an M4?
He was holding
or
an
was
M4, but it
mounted?
I
could
thought
have
it
been.
was mounted, it was
It
mounted.
looked like a turret, but it was like an M4.
Yeah, that was fucked.
Unbelievable.
Was
So
it pack a punched?
The lamination.
Was it
Ow.
10th
It
Prestige?
was ruptured my pecs though, and that was too niche. Holy fuck! Could you imagine if you could pack a punch a gun in real life? If there was a guy, dude, that would be
We've been on a
brilliant.
zombies kick lately.
No, unironically, with
Yeah, I've been on a zombies kick too.
this target demographic coming into now disposable income, if we created a store called packapunch.com where people would send us their guns and we'd like modify them.
That's a great.
If we
idea.
live in a
good
dude,
idea.
like
Pretty
good.
airbrush,
If we had the
you can
skills to do
airbrush
that.
the gun,
Patent
like.
pending.
Even like lights and stuff, like make like
Well, okay, like think about when it's pack a punch, it becomes almost like translucent.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
camo moves
So you
sometimes.
could take the grip off
Mhm.
and like make an epoxy mold where it's like
Yeah.
see through. You know
Yeah.
how they do the tables, the wood tables sometimes. You can make like an epoxy mold of like the grip and the hilt, and like have some shit through. I feel
like
like
the West
could
Coast
sell.
Customs of guns in Canada.
Uh,
Brilliant
ship-
market.
Shipping and
We'll pack a
logistics
punch
would be
anything.
terrible.
Oh,
would be a
you want to pack a
nightmare.
punch that 40-inch dildo?
Your
Throw it at
shoes,
Dude,
yeah.
we'd have to ship them in guitar cases. Like, how the fuck
Yeah.
would we ship M4? So they would be BB guns.
In parts, I guess. In pieces.
They'd be old. I had a sneeze coming on.
But yeah, I guess we can wrap it there.
With to short my pants.
I
Yeah.
had one earlier, and I just mentally just like no. And it
Sucked
just went
it up.
away. Just stopped.
You're edging your sneeze.
Yeah, I was edging my sneeze.
It's gonna get better. Just wait.
All right.
All right, it's a wrap.
Thank you everyone for listening to the episode. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Comment pee pee poo poo.
Bye everybody. Bye. Peace. 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 Peace.